Good evening, councillors, staff, ladies and gentlemen in the gallery and those joining us at home. Please be seated while Councillor Betts reads the blessing.
Almighty God, as we commence our council meeting this evening, we ask that you would graciously grant us wisdom and insight as we weigh up the issues before us. May each of us have a deep commitment to seeking what's best for our city and grant us clarity of mind and a deep love for the people who will be affected by our decisions. As we all continue to be troubled by the situation in the Middle East and the Ukraine and parts of Africa, may each of us make an extra effort to work towards our city being increasingly characterised by citizens living in harmony with one another, respecting each other and caring for each other. In Jesus' name, Amen.
Thank you, Councillor Betts. Before we begin the meeting tonight, I would like to acknowledge that we are meeting on the traditional lands of the Whadjuk Noongar people and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. It is now 6:59 and I declare the meeting open. There are no announcements of visitors tonight and I'll now read the disclaimer. Please note that we are live streaming. So the disclaimer is members of the public are cautioned against taking any action on council decisions on items in which they have an interest until such time as they have seen a copy of the minutes of the meeting or have been advised in writing by city staff. The recording of meetings, all council meetings are digitally recorded with the exception of confidential agenda items in accordance with section 5.23A of the Local Government Act 1995, during which time recording ceases. Following publication and distribution of the meeting minutes to elected members, the digital recording will be available on the city's website. Thank you. Tonight, I'll run through the record of attendance. We have quite a few absentees tonight. The Mayor, Teresa Lyons, and Councillor Dylan Mason are over in Canberra tonight at the local government conference, along with our CEO. We also have Councillor Kylie Dalton and Councillor Aaron Adams on a leave of absence. And all other members are present. Thank you. So we will now move to item 3, the disclosure of interest. So, Councillor Betts.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Item 13.5.4. I was a work colleague of one of the candidates for that position. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Betts. As that's an impartiality interest, you're welcome to stay in the room and vote on the item when that arises. Thank you. Are there any other disclosures of interest? No? Thank you. Announcements by the presiding member. There are no announcements for this fortnight, so we'll move to the next item, item 5, the reports of delegates. Councillors, are there any reports? Councillor Dewhurst?
It's more of a report of a councillor than a delegate, but I think people need to know. So a couple of weeks ago, I took a very large business around to look at farm tractors and went around to all the different farms and stuff like that. And they also wanted to look at agriculture, what the city used. So I rang the city up and spoke to Martin, who had arranged for him to go out to the ops centre. The presentation of the staff was just absolutely fabulous. They were raw, they were funny, they knew exactly what they were talking about, right down to the finer details, the questions that these guys were asking. They were very, very impressed. And that evening, I ran into the number one boss of that company, who's over here as well, and he said to me that the feedback they got, that the staff, I must be very proud because the staff of the City of Gosnells are very professional and also warm. So I've passed it on to Martin already, but I think it was something that we need to put out in the public, that they were very, very good. Let's put it that way. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Dewhurst. It's glad to hear that feedback. And Perhaps we can note in the minutes that we received positive feedback from the business. Thank you. Councillors, are there any other reports of delegates? Councillor Cislak.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. On Wednesday, the 17th of June, I attended the Boral Community Reference Group meeting in Orange Grove. We started off the meeting with a site tour, which was an action from the previous meeting we had in December. So Keith, the quarry manager, and Laurel, the environmental manager, took us around the quarry, showing the BCRG sections that had been completed and which had been planned for future blasting. They're currently rehabilitating the side of the quarry with vegetation in preparation for what they call the next shelf to be removed. So essentially, when you look up towards the hill, there is like a big hill that they're going to blast and drop down. They're vegetating the side that would be exposed to the city. So then once that does drop down, there will still be some beautiful vegetation on that side. The dust piles have been moved from the front of the site to the rear, which has mitigated most of the dust complaints. Blast, vibration and air blast monitoring were all under the limits for the period. Since the last meeting in December, there have only been 3 complaints registered and 2 have been closed out. There is a bit of a mystery as to why Orange Grove is referred to as the Browns Quarry, and we can't quite work out or understand where that's come from. So if anyone who knows a bit of history around Orange Grove as to why maybe it's referred to as the Browns Creek Quarry, please let us know. We're still trying to figure that out. And as of last Friday, the 19th of June, Keith Swift is no longer the Boral Quarry Manager. On Monday, he started his new career with the City of Canning as the Waste, Fleet and Sustainability Manager. Complete 180 in a different direction. The BCRG raised concerns around the new quarry manager might not want to continue with the reference group. Laurel had said that the Orange Grove had set the benchmark for community engagement and that Boral will have more community reference groups at their other sites. Boral are yet to fill the role, and once the new quarry manager comes on board, the BCRG will meet again for introductions. But I wish Keith well in his new career and will update you on the appointment of the new quarry manager. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Cislak. Councillors, no further reports from delegates. So that will now take us to item 6 on the agenda, question time for the public and receiving of public statements. So we'll begin with item 6.1, question time. And tonight we have received questions in writing from Mr. Brendan Cherry of Thornley. Mr. Cherry, may you please come forward to the microphone? Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Williamson. My first question is, what temperature in degrees Celsius is the main pool set at the Gosnells Leisure World?
Thank you. I'll now refer to the Director of Community Engagement, Director Blake.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Between 30.8 and 30.9
Thank you, Director.
degrees Celsius.
Well, thank you, Director. Question 2. How many infringements have been issued for illegally parked vehicles between 1 January and 21 June 26?
I'll refer that question to Director Bradbrook.
Deputy Mayor, 685.
Thanks, Director Bradbrook. Question 3. Can Council please advise if the local government inspector has been looking at the city's operation and has recommended any actions to Council?
I'll also refer that one to Director Bradbrook.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. The monitor hasn't been looking at the city's operations, but we have received a letter in the last week or so asking for some information about an investment that we have with Aware Super that we will respond to. But they haven't made any recommendations at all to Council.
Thank you, Director Bradbrook. Question 4. Can the Deputy Mayor please voice her opinion on shopping trolleys being dumped all throughout the areas and the lack of effort by the retailers to collect them?
Thank you. Certainly disappointing to see the amount of dumping, particularly of shopping trolleys. And it would be fantastic if retailers came out more proactively to collect those trolleys or put in some mitigation measures. But if residents do notice dumped shopping trolleys, I encourage you to report those promptly, and you can use Snaps and Solve to make those reports as well.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Williamson. Question 5. Does Director Lafort know what's going on in the vacant land on Murdoch Road between the shopping centre and the roundabout at Hume Road?
Through Director Lafort.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. The site has been approved for a childcare centre on the portion of the land closest to the shopping centre. and the other portion of the site has been approved for subdivision by the West Australian Planning Commission for 35 survey strata lots.
Thank you, Director Lafort. And of course, Director Glover always gets a question from me on this one. Question 6, does Council have any plans to advocate the State Government and Main Roads for funding to upgrade Garden Street and Bourbon Road with traffic lights following the fatal tragic crash 3 weeks ago?
Director Glover.
Through you, Madam Deputy Mayor. The City acknowledges the seriousness of the recent fatal crash at the Garden Street and Boardman Road intersection and advises that we have completed the following steps. We have contacted the WA Police Major Crash Investigation Section and requested advice on the crash findings and any actions arising from the investigation. And we have also sought advice from Main Roads WA Road Safety Branch on when any relevant crash assessment report will be available. They generally take about 6 weeks. Until those investigations and reports are completed, it would be premature to form a position on specific treatments, including traffic signals. Once the findings and any recommendations are available, the City will review them and consider any appropriate action, including advocacy to the State Government or Main Roads WA, recognising traffic signals are a State Government asset.
Thank you, Director Glover. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. I'd just like to add to that, that tragedy. Our thoughts go out to the family involved with that accident, and it's not something we take lightly within our city. So we will be taking action on that once those results come through. I would now like to call forward Miss O'Neill from Kenwick, if you could please come forward with your questions.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. The community events budget at around 1.1 million, of that we spend 500,000 on Fusion, 300,000 on Jingle All the Way, 75,000 on Harmony Hoedown. What does the other 225,000 cover? Is that things like story time that I see at the shopping centre? Things like that?
I will ask the Director of Community Engagement to answer.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. No, it doesn't include any of those things. We have an Australia Day Big Breakfast. We also have a concert series, 3 concerts. We have the Sunset Cinemas and we have some park activations, so that will get you pretty close to the 225,000 that you're talking about.
Thanks. The catering budget being about 300,000, which is about $5,500 a week. What are we catering? What is that?
I'll ask the Director of Community Engagement to answer that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Well, obviously we have our ongoing things, so we make sure that we provide a meal for our very hard-working elected members before council meetings. We have citizenship ceremonies. We also have a number of community events like multicultural meet and greets. We have, some staff retirement functions that come up, but we also cater for some of the larger functions from external organisations who then provide us money back for those things, and you won't see that in those figures. So, for example, we had the Zone meeting here last week, and we've also had a number of IPWEA, Institute of Public Works Engineering Australia meetings, and again, they compensate us for the money that we spend. But most of the money is around staffing. So obviously we need staffing to prepare and serve the meals. So that's where most of the catering budget
Thank you.
from.
And lastly, the curbing at the intersection of Bickley and Kenwick, just near Doolan's there, is currently under repair. How much does that cost?
Thank you. As we didn't receive that question in advance, we will have to take that one on notice to get accurate information. Thank you. Okay, I'll now call forward Mr. Murphy of Thornley with your questions.
Did you leave that on? Did you leave it on? Yes. Yep, right. Yeah, thank you, Deputy Mayor. My question is, how many times has Mills Park Function Centre been booked out on a Sunday night for the last 12 months? Now, I say that because a lot of you are unaware that there was a $22,000 contract on Sunday nights, and the council lost it because they had a booking every Sunday and they decided to change things around, so they lost that 22. So now that 22,000, which is probably a lot more now than when we did have it, is coming out of ratepayers' money. Now, I know you'll take it on notice,
Sorry,
because you
Mr.
won't be able to
Murphy.
give me that answer, but in saying that, I'll come back for the answer because I'd like everybody in this room to hear the answer, not just me in the mail.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. So our procedure allows for the answer to be sent to you, emailed to you, or posted to you in writing, and then it will also be recorded in the next OCM agenda. So all councillors will get to see that answer, and it will be in writing on the public record. But you are more than welcome to come back to the next OCM as well.
Right.
And you're also welcome to send an email directly to councillors using the form on the councillor website.
Yeah, because I have spoken to some of the residents down there, and what they've told me, I think, how foolish losing 22,000 a year. Some of the local residents who live down, across the road and that I got to know over a period of time.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. So we will now move to public statement time, and I invite forward Owen McCulwey from TBB Planning with a statement on item 1 on the agenda on page 5.
Done your research on the name, Deputy Mayor. Thank you. Good evening, Deputy Mayor and councillors. My name is Owen McElwee from TBB Planning. I'm here representing the landowner of Lot 10 Gay Street, Huntingdale, Mr Francis Grassi. I speak to item 13.2.1 on the agenda. As you may recall, I have previously addressed council on this item when we were initiating the scheme amendment request a few months ago. I appreciate the opportunity again to speak tonight in support of amendment number 2, which proposes to rezone the land from residential R20 to local centre. Firstly, I'd like to thank the City's officers for their recommendation in support of the amendment and for their assistance throughout the entire assessment process. So the key point I'd like to leave with Council tonight is that this amendment is not introducing a new planning direction for the site. Since 2015, the subject site has consistently been identified by the City as a future local centre through a number of council-endorsed strategic documents. So these include the local planning strategy, the activity centre planning strategy, and the South Bullfinch Street draft guide plan. And each of these documents identifies the site for either commercial or local centre purposes. So the amendment before you tonight at Council simply implements the City's long-standing strategic vision for the land. The rationale for the local centre remains as relevant today as it did when those strategic documents were first created or prepared. The surrounding area continues to grow and urbanise, and that's evident through all the subdivision approval and subdivisions that are occurring within Huntingdale currently, which creates demand for local services, employment opportunities and convenient day-to-day access for goods and services within the community. So importantly, and what I'd like to state is that this amendment only deals with the zoning of the land. It doesn't consider any future development proposal on the land currently, which will be dealt with through detailed design and assessment through a separate development application process, where matters such as the built form, access, traffic, landscaping, parking and amenity impacts can be carefully considered. So in summary, the amendment is consistent with the City's strategic planning framework. It implements a planning outcome that has been contemplated for more than a decade by the City, and it also provides an opportunity to deliver a local centre that will benefit the growing Huntingdale community. So for those reasons, we respectfully request Council's support the officer's recommendation and endorse the amendment without modification and forward it through to the WAPC for final determination by the Minister. So thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you very much. So that now brings us to the end of public statement time. So we will now move to item 7, the confirmation of minutes. Councillors, may I seek a mover? Councillor Zhang as a mover and Councillor Singh as a seconder. Councillor Zhang, would you like to speak? Councillor Singh, would any councillor like to speak? No. Okay, so we will go to the vote. Thank you, councillors. So that has been carried unanimously. We now move to item 8. We have one petition that has been received in advance. So, Councillor Singh, can you please raise your petition?
Deputy Mayor, I, Councillor Singh, wish to present a petition to the council signed by 72 residents, which reads, "We undersigned the electors of the city of Gosnells request the installation of the sitting and drinking fountain adjacent to the playground of Pinaster Park, Canning Vale. Pinaster Park is a popular park serving the significant parts of the Canning Vale. Some minor improvements of the park would be helped to make it more enjoyable place to visit the local residents. As such, I'd like to move the petition and receive the report prepared for the council. Thank you. I got a petition here. I'll give you.
Thank you, Councillor Singh. May I seek a seconder to support Councillor Singh's proposal to receive the report, receive the petition and request a report? Councillor Islam, second that. So we will now go to the vote. Thank you, councillors. That's unanimously carried. Thank you. Are there any other petitions to be presented? No? Thank you. We will now move to item 9, the application for leave of absence, and I have received one application. Councillor Dewhurst is seeking leave of absence from the 11th of July to the 20th of July, which covers the council meeting on the 14th of July for personal reasons. May I seek a seconder, a mover, Councillor Zhang as a mover and Councillor Sislak as a seconder. Now, councillors, please cast your vote. Thank you, councillors. That's unanimously carried. Are there any other applications for leave of absence? No? Okay. Item 10 on the agenda is questions of which due notice has been given, and there are none. Item 11 is items brought forward. We will not be bringing any items brought forward for the gallery tonight. Item 12 is reports of committee members, and we do not have any for that item. So we'll now move into item 13.2.1, the amendment number 2 to local planning scheme number 24, rezoning 248 lot 10 Gay Street, Huntingdale, finalisation. Councillors, may I seek a mover? Councillor Dewhurst as a mover, Councillor Sajad as a seconder. Councillor Dewhurst, would you like to speak to the item?
Not at the moment.
Thank you. Councillor Sajad, would you like to speak? No? Would any other councillor like to speak on this item? No? Councillor Dewhurst? Okay. So we will now put this item to the vote. Councillors? Thank you, councillors. That's unanimously carried. The next item on the agenda is 13.2.1, Local Planning Scheme number 24, Heritage List Adoption for Advertising. May I seek a mover? Councillor Dewhurst and seconder Councillor Lloyd. Councillor Dewhurst, would you like to speak? Councillor Lloyd, would you like to speak? Would any other councillor like to speak or ask a question? No? Okay. Councillor Dewhurst, would you like to close? No? Okay, councillors, we will now go to the vote. Thank you, councillors. That's unanimously carried. The next item on the agenda is item 13.2.3, development application, change of use, showroom to motor vehicle repair, Unit 3, 404, Lot 1008, Ranford Road, Canning Vale. May I seek a mover? Councillor Islam as a mover and a seconder, Councillor Sislak. Councillor Islam, would you like to speak? Councillor Sislak, would you like to speak? Would any other councillor like to speak? Councillor Abetz.
The development is certainly appropriate for the setting. My main concern is the parking issue, because the gym that's there gobbles up all the space pretty much at times, and so I think it's going to be challenging for some of the businesses there at those peak times, but I guess the applicant has made the decision that it's worth their while being there, so I guess they'll just have to work with the challenges of that. So I just thought put it on the public record that I think there's going to be some parking issues there. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Abetz. Would any other councillor like to speak to this item? No? Councillor Islam, would you like to close? No? Okay, councillors, can you please cast your vote? Thank you, councillors. That's unanimously carried. This will now bring us to item 13.3.1, the proposed lease for part of Mills Park Reserve to the City Football Group Australia Operations Proprietary Limited. May I seek a mover? Councillor Lloyd as a mover, Councillor Abetz as a seconder. Councillor Lloyd, would you like to speak to this item? Councillor Abetz? No. Would any other councillor like to speak? No. Councillor Lloyd, would you like to close? No. Okay, councillors, can you please cast your votes? Thank you, councillors. That's unanimously carried. Councillors, the next item on the agenda is item 13.3.2, black spot funding applications for 2027-28. May I seek a mover? Councillor Sijad and a seconder, Councillor Zhang. Councillor Sijad, would you like to speak to the item? No. Councillor Zhang, would you like to speak on the item? Would any other councillor like to speak? No? Okay, councillors, can I ask you to cast your vote? Thank you, councillors. That's unanimously carried. There are no items for community engagement, so that brings us to item 13.5.1, the financial activity statements for May 2026. May I seek a mover? Councillor Islam and Councillor Lloyd as a seconder. Councillor Islam, would you like to speak to the item?
Thank you, Madam Deputy. Can I ask a question? It's related but not related so much about the differential rates proposal. How many submissions have we received so far?
We'll ask Director Bradbrook to answer that question.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. We've had 13, one of those from a person who's not a ratepayer or an elector, so 12 valid submissions so far.
Thank you. Councillor Islam,
Thank you. I'll just speak a little bit. While we are reviewing this is May financial activity statements, which outline the city's current financial position, but I would like to take this opportunity to remind our community that submission on the proposed differential rates and rate increase for next year closes on this Friday, 26th of June, 2026. So this is an important consultation process, and I encourage all ratepayers and electors to have their say before council makes its final decision. Whether residents support the proposal or have any concerns or would like to suggest alternatives, this is their opportunity to provide feedback. And submission can be made online, by email, by post, or in person at the Civic Centre. I encourage everyone to take time to review the proposal and make a submission before closing date. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Islam. Councillor, who's second? Councillor Lloyd, would you like to speak? No. Would any other councillor like to speak on this item? No. Councillor Islam, would you like to close? No. Councillors, can you please cast your vote? Thank you, councillors. That's unanimously carried. The next item on the agenda is item 13.5.2, the payment of accounts for May 2026. May I seek a mover? Councillor Dewhurst, seconder Councillor Singh. Councillor Dewhurst, Councillor Singh, would you like to speak? Would any other councillor like to speak? No. Councillors, may I ask you to cast your vote? Thank you, councillors. That's unanimously carried. The next item on the agenda is a confidential item. I will move the motion, but please indicate if anyone would like to speak on the item. It's item 13.5.3, the Audit, Risk and Improvement Committee, appointment of presiding member and deputy to the presiding member. Councillor Dewhurst, you'd like to move?
I'd like to move, but I'd also like to speak, but I'm not talking about the appointments.
Okay.
I'm just talking about the process.
Okay, that's okay.
So I don't have, won't be divulging anything.
Okay, I'm happy to do that with it open. So you're a mover. I will ask for a seconder. Councillor Lloyd as a seconder. Councillor Dewhurst, would you like to speak to the item?
I just been thinking about this. I think about bureaucracy all the time and mandates, and we're talking about costs and all that sort of stuff, right? Now, I need sort of answers, so I'm going to ask some questions and then I'll come talk about it afterwards. So this item tonight about having independent presiding member over the Audit Risk Committee, that was mandated by government? It was?
Correct.
Okay. So because it's mandated, I find that a lot of time and effort's gone in from the council to try and get this to today. Why don't we just, just do it, then instead of doing it this way. But don't we also have a government body of audit that comes all our financials over risk and everything that we have to pay? Am I right that?
Councillor Director Brad Brook will answer the question.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Yes, we are audited every year by the Office of the Auditor General, and that comes at a cost of around about $130,000.
Okay, so what I'm trying to allude to here is just the bureaucracy and I think the stupidity of this, because the fact is that we can't go to any other auditors. We have to use the government one. Costs us $100,000, 170, did you say? $130,000 a year. So if they go through everything, they do a really good job. I sit there and listen to and read their documentation each year. But now there's another impulse on government, on local government, because someone sitting at state government thought, I've got an idea, I'll get promoted today. Let's put a presiding member over all their audit committees. Bang, it's been promoted, And it's just ludicrousy. The cost the state is continuing to put on local governments. And for what benefit, really? I mean, what can a presiding member actually do apart from preside over a meeting? I mean, I could get my 17-year-old, or she's 18 now, 18-year-old daughter down here and do the same job. I mean, and it's just absolutely, to me, it baffles me why all this impulse is put on local government by state and the costs. So when people are upset about the rates and all that stuff, I'm telling you now, there's a lot of the rate rises because of state government impulse and state government bureaucracy. So I just wanted to have a say about that. I feel better now. I'll go to sleep tonight. So.
Thank you, Councillor Dewhurst. Councillor Lloyd, would you like to speak? No. Would any other councillor like to speak? Councillor Islam?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Deputy Mayor. Just a generic question to understand the process. So we are appointing chair and also deputy as well. So do they both have to attend our meetings, because there is a cost, as Councillor Dewhurst was saying, about $1,215 that we have got to pay every meeting. Do they both have to attend, or just only one or the other? Thank you.
Director Bradbrook will answer the question.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. It's an odd way that they've written the legislation to have a presiding member and a deputy to the presiding member. So the deputy to the presiding member will only attend a meeting if the presiding member is unable to. So given that we meet 3 or 4 times a year, they actually may never attend one of our meetings.
Thank you. Councillor Islam, would you like to ask another question or speak on the item? No? Councillor Dewhurst?
I just got 2 more questions and I'll finish off. So exactly what the presiding member, apart from presiding over the meeting, to do, what's actually their function and role?
Director Bradbrook will answer the question.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. That is fundamentally the role. It is to chair meetings of the Audit and Risk Committee, provide some leadership, I guess, around audit functions, but fundamentally their role is to preside over meetings.
Okay. So what would happen if we all voted no on this tonight? What would be the consequence, or what would happen? It would come through anyway, wouldn't it?
Director Bradbrook will answer the question.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. All local governments are required to have an Audit, Risk and Improvement Committee established by the 1st of July, and they are all required to have an independent chair of that committee. So if Council didn't endorse the appointments tonight, we would need to effectively go through another process for Council to then ultimately appoint an independent chairperson, or we'll be in breach of the legislation.
Okay. I'm not suggesting anyone votes no for this, by the way, because it's just going to cause a great lot of stress and work for our staff. But I mean, if you can just see, a layman could see this hypocrisy in this, and the bureaucracy is just crazy. Thank you.
Sorry, Councillor Lloyd, do you have a point of order, because Councillor Dewhurst just closed? I think he asked a question and then added comment to close. They were just questions? Yeah. Councillor Lloyd? Yes. Yep.
Sorry, I only just wanted to ask. I note that it says that as a Band 1 local government that we have the ability to have the maximum amount be $1,215. Will we be paying that? And was that rate offered to the people who have applied?
I will ask Director Bradbrook to answer the question.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. So councillors might recall that we brought terms of reference for the position to council as a policy for council to endorse prior to seeking expressions of interest, and in that policy it prescribes that council will pay at the top of the band for a level 1 local government.
Are there any further questions? No? Councillor Dewhurst, would you like to close? No? Okay, councillors. We will now go to the vote on this item. Thank you, councillors. That's unanimously carried. This now brings us to item 13.5.4, appointment of elected members to the Audit, Risk and Improvement Committee. May I seek a mover? Councillor Dewhurst as a mover, Councillor Zhang as a seconder. Councillor Dewhurst, would you like to speak? Councillor Zhang, would you like to speak? Would any other elected members like to speak? No? We will then go to the vote. Thank you. Thank you, councillors. That's unanimously carried. So item 14 on the agenda is motions of which previous notice has been given, and there are none. We have no items of urgent business. We have no further confidential items. And so item 17 is closure of the meeting. And so I will close the meeting at 7:37, and I thank councillors and staff and everyone in the gallery and online for joining us tonight. Thank you.